Chapter 1655. When Yi Qianqian saw the complicated expression on her sister's face, she immediately realized what was going on. What she had just said seemed to be inappropriate. Yi wasn't stupid. On the contrary, she was very smart. Her heart suddenly became uneasy. Yi Qianqian laughed dryly and said, "Our company is close by, so we often eat together. You don't say. This guy's cooking skills are pretty good." It's a far cry from his looks. When he heard that, Shinjilia was displeased. He immediately retorted, Hey, that's too much. What's wrong with my looks? I'm handsome and I can cook. Do you have a problem with that?" Yi Qianqian gave herself a big thumbs up for changing the topic perfectly. When Yi Qianqian heard Shinjilia's defiant words, she turned her head and looked at him with contempt. She sneered but didn't say a word. Shinjilia was so angry that he felt a lump in his throat. He reached out and pretended to strangle her. But in the end he couldn't bring himself to do it. He let out a long sigh and lamented, "Why is my life so bitter? I get angered by you every day and I have to serve you. It's so tiring being a man." "Serve your grandpa, serve. When did you ever serve me?" Yi Qianqian roared with her hands on her hips. Her face was full of indignation. Shinjilia sighed and said, "Didn't I? I don't know who it was that carried you to the hospital when you were sick and vomiting. He even stayed by your bedside to guard you, afraid that you would die in your sleep." T. Yi Qianqian was infuriated. She reached out and pinched his hand. She yelled, "You're the one who's going to die." Shinjilia grimaced in pain from the pinch. He quickly said, "Isn't this the saying that beauties are unlucky? The prettier they are, the shorter their lives. I'm just worried about you." When Yi Qianqian heard that, she immediately retracted her hand. She looked at Shinjilia with a face full of gratitude. She touched the arm that she had just pinched and asked, "Does it hurt?" "I'm sorry. I used too much force." Yi was speechless. Li Jinan was speechless. Yi Qianqian looked into the distance and said, "Your worries are very reasonable. I feel that it's a blessing to have a friend like you in my life." Shinjilia replied, "Are you serious?" Yi Qianqian's expression immediately changed and she elbowed him. Yi and Li Jinan couldn't help but laugh out loud. "When did you get sick? Is it serious?" Yi asked as she picked up her teacup. "It wasn't a big deal. He just caught a cold and was dehydrated. He was on a drip for a day and was fine after drinking some medicine." Shinjilia didn't think much of it. This guy's body is as strong as a bull. He's usually fine. F***ck, you're the one who looks like a cow. It's a good thing that I'm like a cow. I'm a man. You're the man. Shinjilia replied. "I've always been a man." Yi Qianqian glared at him. "Then you look like a woman." "How could that be? You're thinking too much." Yi Qianqian lowered her head and ate a mouthful of food. Her gaze was somewhat evasive. "We just eat together occasionally." "Is that so?" Yi didn't think that was all there was to it. From the looks of it, their relationship seemed to be pretty good. At the very least, it wasn't the first time they had bickered and teased each other like this. Chapter 1695. You really didn't go? Really? Shinjilia nodded his head. But in the end, the wedding didn't go through, and that incident even happened. Yi Qianqian nodded her head. She suddenly thought of something and said, "Your grandmother is so mysterious. Couldn't she have predicted that Guan Kui would cause trouble at the wedding? If your grandmother had known earlier, this wouldn't have happened, and your brother wouldn't have spent so much time in jail for nothing." "I've already said that she's a demigod. A demigod is unpredictable. If she could predict everything, wouldn't she be an immortal?" "That's true. Has your grandmother ever told you when you're going to get married?" "No. It's weird. She always predicted the fate of others, but she never predicted the fate of our family." Yi Qianqian felt her hair stand on end. "I think it's true. Besides, doesn't fortune-telling differentiate between close and distant relatives? It's normal for people like you who are directly related by blood to be unable to predict it. The secrets of heaven cannot be revealed. Shinjulia looked surprised and said, "Wow, you're quite perceptive. When you meet my grandmother later, she'll probably put you under her wing." "I don't want to be a charlatan." "Ah, I'm hungry. Let's go eat." Shinjulia held Yi Chanchan in his arms and went to a random restaurant on the street. Most restaurants in Italy were more elegant. Even the waiters were very good-looking. They were all tall and strong with blonde hair and blue eyes. They were so handsome that they could make one's eyes water. Yi Chanchan's eyes were glued to them. Her soul almost left her body. As Shinjulia ate, he said, "Don't be fooled by their good looks. They're actually here to trick you into spending money." Sure enough, his words came true. Very quickly, a handsome young man sensed Yi Chanchan's gaze and walked over to her. In English he asked, "Beautiful lady, would you like a drink?" Yi Chanchan was intoxicated by the sight and asked, "What drinks do you have?" Shinjulia's expression darkened. He said, "No thank you." He reached out to pat Yi Chanchan and said, "What's there to look at?" "Stop looking." Yi Chanchan ignored him. She swatted his hand away and said, "Ignore him." The handsome young man smiled elegantly and politely introduced himself. Yi Chanchan moved closer and closer to him, her eyes fixed on his face. Shinjulia's face darkened. "Yi Chanchan." Yi Chanchan acted as if she hadn't seen it and asked, "Oh, I don't know. Tell me what's good to drink." "Our signature drink is the appointment of romance, €50 a cup. Would you like one?" €50. *CK. This is daylight robbery. Shinjulia tugged at Yi Chanchan and said, "It's almost $400. Are you going to buy it?" Yi Chanchan was shocked when she heard the price. She blinked and asked, "So expensive?" The handsome young man chuckled and said, "It's as beautiful as you. Beautiful things are worth everything to have." "Oh dear," Yi Chanchan's heart was about to melt. When she saw his mesmerizing smile, she reached out a finger and said, "Can I have a glass?" "Sure. Please wait for a moment." The handsome young man quickly walked away. When Yi Chanchan turned her head, she saw that Shinjulia's face had darkened. Yi Chanchan had never seen such an expression on Shinjulia's face before. She coughed lightly and said guiltily, "Well, I just wanted to experience what a $400 drink tastes like."